Okay, let's begin. I've just been trying to go through all my stream settings to see if I can figure out what this delay is. I have no idea what's causing it. I can only imagine it's to do with my router, so I don't think it's ever going to get fixed in a hurry. So apologies for that. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope everyone's doing okay. I'm not feeling too great, but I kind of need to stream. I need to do something tonight. So I'm just drinking water, no vodka tonight. Because my stomach's still not quite right. I've just had a really dicky tummy all week. Sorry, just pull my seat thing up. Your son is a network engineer. What? He's not a network engineer. He's not a network engineer, unfortunately. I'm absolutely certain it has to be my router. It's the only thing. It's the only thing I can. I can't rule out. I've ruled out Twitch itself. The low latency is turned on into. Oh, you mean yourself? I see. I've ruled out Twitch itself. It's turned on in there. Wow, 2 years. My God, thank you, Amok, so much. Thank you for the resub. Man, have I been streaming for 2 years? That's insane. Because I think you were my first sub, actually. No, he wants to do Cisco stuff. He wants to learn a bit more. At the moment, he's just kind of like a IT support engineer, but he wants to move into the kind of network engineering side of things. I mean, I don't know how much he knows of it right now, but I guess it's not a lot because he asks me questions about networking. So, but he's only young. He's got a long, a lot of time to kind of pick these things up. So, but he has been talking about Cisco certification. So, yeah, 2 years, man. That's insane. Wow. So it's roughly 2 years from now, isn't it? Since I started streaming. That's kind of balmy. That's mental. Yeah, so I haven't felt too great this week. I've kind of just I really couldn't stream on Tuesday. I felt so bad. So I just had to not stream, and I was almost gonna not stream tonight, but I thought no, I have to because it's driving me mad not streaming. So yeah, but yeah, regarding the network thing, I've ruled out it being Twitch because I've actually I've done the checks. Oh, hang on, I didn't send that message, did I? There we go. Yeah, I've ruled out OBS because I've gone through so many different settings in OBS. I've followed, I've done what I think is my most, uh, what I thought would be the best settings. And I've tried various kind of combinations of online settings over the past few weeks, and none of them seem to make any difference whatsoever. I'm 100% certain it is not my machine because of the power of the machine and the fact it's a brand new installation of Windows would rule out anything there. And in fact, actually, the brand new installation of Windows has made no difference whatsoever. The only thing I'm not able to rule out is the router. It could just simply be because it's 5G. There's a few extra hops in the kind of the routing between the three 5G network and Twitch's network that just are not easy to overcome. Which is weird though, because for everything else it seems really good. Like if I play an online game, I don't have any like crazy ping. My pings sit around like the 5 to 10 millisecond mark. So there's not an issue with gaming servers. It just seems to be Twitch for some reason. But it could just simply be that. It just could be the routing between between 3 and Twitch's servers. So oh, okay, sent a link. And I need to oh, I'm not going to remove it now. It's already in there. 3 is open. 20 new data centers leading to reduced 5G. Okay. Okay, maybe that will improve then. The thing is I am going to be moving within the next 6 to 8 months. It could be as soon as a few months from now. It could be 8 months away, but at some point between those times, I am going to move. One of the criteria when I move is that I want um, a decent internet. Now, I don't mind if it's 5G again because I actually really like the speeds of 5G. But I would also take cable internet as well. I don't want satellite internet. I really don't like the idea. I remember having Sky and having to freaking put up with no TV when it snowed or when it rained heavily. I can't deal with that with the internet. That'll just drive me mad. Um, and I'm sure it's much better than that, but I still don't trust. It's got to go a long way, and I don't trust it yet. Not enough anyway. Um, but I would probably go for cable. I think if I move, but if I do, I want to get something with a really good upspeed as well. I don't have a problem with sky and bad weather here. I mean, I don't know what it's like nowadays. I guess it's different, but it used to be really really bad when it snowed. That was it. You were out. So, but yes, I probably want to go for cable internet if I upgrade at some point. Okay, let's crack on with the show tonight then. Let's give you all some points. The show. What am I on about? It's not really a show, is it? Well, I don't know. Maybe you see it, or maybe you'll see it as a show. Uh, yeah, I mean, fiber, yeah. But I mean, by cable, I say cable because what I mean is Virgin Media um, through their network. I really, really want to avoid BT's copper networks if I can. Even BT's fiber is still going to be copper at some point. So, hey, Deft. Oh, you're ahead because I'm only drinking water tonight. I don't feel very good. So, well, whatever it is, it's the other one I was looking at is Hyperoptic as well, who do gigabit and will apparently at some point will be doing even higher as well. Um, BT fiber. So when I was on BT, I would lose my internet maybe um, once a week, twice a week, and sometimes it would be for 24 hours. It wouldn't be for like half an hour. It'd be like for a whole 24 hours. The worst case was I was without internet for 3 days. So I cannot bring myself to use anything that uses a BT network ever again. So hyperoptic is one I'll go for. Virgin Media I'll probably go for if I can't get anything else. Just because they got decent speeds for not bad prices. But hyperoptic is the one I want. Yeah, would love hyperoptic, but they don't cover here. Yeah, I'm hoping where I'm going they will be covered. Um, it should be East London, so it shouldn't be too bad. I don't think. Okay, right. Let's crack on. Let's get the races on the go. So I've been working on my overlay a little bit as well. I'd show it you, but unfortunately, the moment I started up, it's going to connect to Twitch and do all sorts of weird and wonderful things. So I can't really do that at the moment. But I've reworked the whole alert system. So instead of using Stream Elements, it now uses my own alerts. They're all standardized, so they all use the same animation in and out. With particle-based images and sounds that you're all used to, so that's kind of nice, and it means I rely less and less on Stream Elements and Streamlabs and stuff. Um, Same with the last follower, the last sub that you see up at the top. That's something that would now be controlled by my overlay as well. Basically, I'm taking everything from all the different windows that I use because I have one, two, three, four different windows that I need to use. Well, five actually, if I want to change alerts as well. So I use up to five different windows to control the stuff on the overlay, and I don't have a lot of control of that over the Stream Deck. Uh, so I'm not going on crazy. There you go. Thank you, Def. Thank you very much. So you'll be pleased to know I've kept the turbo outrun, the bits alert. So yeah. Cheers anyway. Thank you. As I know it's water, but cheers anyway. What was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. So I've consolidated it all into one window. What that also means is I can control more of it with my Stream Deck because I can have one single kind of connection between one kind of API connection between my Stream Deck and my overlay, and I can control it all from there. It also means I can update backgrounds live. I can change quiz results live. All sorts of things will I'll be able to do live, as well as restarting the stream. Will be restarting the overlay will be super quick. It will be almost instant. Whereas now it has to kind of recount all the SID tunes and everything. Whereas this it will be a separate server that does that. So yeah, it's pretty decent. It's very moddable as well. So I may release it. Can you even stream live? Who knows? Maybe it's a combination of all the windows I have open, but I doubt it. I'm pretty certain it's the the router. Okay, right. Let's crack on. So we're going to do some Cecconoid again tonight. I remember a couple of bugs that I wanted to fix from last time, so we'll work slowly through those. The main one being the masking of the ship in the first screen. You're amazed how Amok can lose everything on set. Yeah, Amok is a master of that. Got to move. Barry's dead. So be right back. Okay, Def. Uh, Let me know what kit you're using for the network. I can tell you what I'm using. So I'm using the Huawei. Oh god, I can't remember. It's the Huawei C Pro 5G router, but that's just a 5G router that sits kind of close to the door with an aerial on it, so that it's got decent, like there's an external aerial connected to it, so I get decent connection from that. Then I'm using a Cat6 cable to connect it to my Nighthawk router, Netgear Nighthawk router, and then from there it's just directly into my through one of the other ports directly into my PC. So it's Cat6 cabling all the way up to the router. But I strongly suspect it's the Huawei router because I don't have this issue on anything else at all other than Twitch. So I suspect it's the routing between Huawei and Twitch for some reason. Between not Huawei, between Three's 5G network and that. So all the data goes to China first. Yeah, maybe. But yeah, like I say, I'm going to be moving in the next 6 to 8 months. So I'm going to try and focus because one of the main things about moving is to set up a better streaming space as well. So I'm going to try and get somewhere that I can have a dedicated kind of streaming room, and I can keep all my kind of workshop stuff out of the room from that, and have a more kind of more suitable a more suitable kind of streaming space, and part of that will be also making sure I have a suitable streaming kind of ISP as well. It's possible to peer in from 3 times. Okay, yeah, that'd be cool if you could poke around. That'd be really good. I wouldn't even know where to begin poking around that, other than doing a kind of trace route, which I haven't done, to be fair. So I should maybe do that at some point. Maybe I'll tell you what I'll do after the stream or tomorrow. If you remind me to do a trace route, I will do one to the Twitch servers from here, and then maybe you can kind of maybe you can do some stuff around that. Oh, what is this? I forgot what this series is now. I'm just going to quickly look what this series is. I've completely forgotten what it was now. Oh, yes. Oh, I think you're going to struggle with this one, but I don't know. SP has had a knack so far of figuring these out, so But yeah, anyway, yeah, just remind me tomorrow, Andy, to do a trace route to the Twitch servers, and then I can share that with you as well. But no playing around with my IP number, thanks. Not that there'd be much that you can do anyway. So anyway, right, let's crack on. So let's get the game actually loaded up. Uh, I think this one's going to be harder. I think this one's going to be more difficult because it's not so straightforward. So okay, so let's take a look. Let's make sure everything's working. So, okay. Oh, there was also the timing issue, wasn't there? Which seems to be fine on this screen. So there's obviously a timing issue on the laser screen, which is kind of to be expected. There's a lot going on that screen. So we'll see if we can maybe make some dynamic adjustments to the multiplexer as well on this screen, on this one here. Because there is a flickering, more of a flickering with these particles that wasn't present before. So we can have a play around there. As you can see there, there's no flickering present on the particles. There's more particle flickering there, and this is where the problem is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start by turning that sprite on to appear on top of everything. The masking sprite, that is, which is working up to a certain point, and then it's kind of delayed in its follow. And then I'm going to make it red as well. So so let's start with that, and then we'll look at the timing issues. I think the timing issues just comes down to kind of optimizing things a little bit. We can maybe look and see if we can optimize this laser draw. It could be to do with the particles that are being drawn. It could just be down to the number of multiplex sprites as well. So we'll have a go at maybe doing some dynamic multiplexing and dynamic particle adjustments, because that will be a good, useful tool for all screens if we can just adjust them per screen. But we'll start with this thing up here. So let's go ahead and find that and make it appear on top. So let me sort my layout out so you can see multiple layers. So I was going to stream some PS5 stuff tomorrow, and another background as well. I was going to say, oh yeah, I was going to stream some PS5 tomorrow, but I really don't feel up to it, so I'm going to do it next week instead, on Friday. So I'm going to start streaming the odd Friday here and there. I'll try and do it every Friday, because it's a nice opportunity to just chill out really for a few hours, no pressure. Well, other than completing a game. Thanks, Kodiago, for the resub. Appreciated. Cheers. Yeah, but I don't really feel up to it. And next week, not this coming Saturday, but the Saturday after, I won't be streaming because I'm actually out. I'm actually going out into the world for the first time in 16 months or so, for a meal with friends. So I won't be streaming that night. So it'd be good to kind of stream on the Friday instead. Okay, let's find. So we're looking for the masking. I cannot for the life remember where this is going to be now. Sprites, probably in Sprites. Swarm Blades, no. I should really make a better better system for things in here. Oh, passable areas. There we go. That's what they're called. Okay, right. So let's make the sprites appear on top of each other. So it's D01B, I think. No, that's not it, is it? That's let's get my list up. Oh yeah, it is background sprite pro D01B. All right. And okay, so that's set here with the player. So it looks like the player and the mask is set to appear behind. Everything else appears in front. Okay, so let's just go and change this temporarily. Let's just set that to 0 like that. Right, that should bring everything in front. Now let's set the mask. So the mask is this one here. It's the very first sprite. So let's set it to red. That should hopefully make all passable areas appear in front. Oh, and another series. Okay, well, you've got 3 series now. This is an interesting one as well. I think these are pretty good, actually. All of these series are pretty good. Actually, I think for once, SPs is probably the easier of the 3. So, okay, what am I checking? All right, okay, yeah. So you can see the thing there. You can see how it's not matching up properly. Now, if I go, let me just go and check this other room. Now, this is going to be tricky now because I can actually die down here. So, oh, we need to do the collision on that laser as well. So in this screen, it works perfectly, right? So there's not an issue there at all. The issue is when we come to a width of 3 on the mask. So if you remember, what we had with the mask was the ability to kind of set the width of the mask. In this case, we're setting a width of 3, and it does work up to this edge here, and it works vertically. You can see vertically it's fine, but that's because we're not actually changing anything vertically. But horizontally, it's kind of screwed up. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to try setting a width of 2 and see if it follows properly with a width of 2. And then I'm going to set a width of 1 and see if it follows with that. And then if those are both right, then we just need to work on the 3. Um, uh, yeah, it's a tricky thing to get used to, centering them a bit like that. One of the things I was going to keep the original layout of the overlay, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to rejig the overlay slightly. I'm going to redesign it and juggle things around, and I may actually make the backgrounds more prominent, and move me down to somewhere else maybe. I don't know. I'll have to have a think about it. I need to work out what I'm gonna do with that. So, um, but yeah, I'm thinking of doing a redesign. It's been a while that this overlay's been on there. It's probably been 12 months or so, or close to that. So, um, I'll move it. I've got a color scheme in mind as well. So anyway, that's one for later. Okay, so let's try changing the size of this mask. So if I go and have a look in the screen, oh, I didn't see what screen number that was, just because I can never remember. So I think with this though, Akmafin, you've been a little bit fairer. I think getting the link is going to be difficult, but once they get the link, if they get the link, well, I mean they will by 70%, but once they get the link, it will be Googleable. Andy's is just not Googleable at all. Um, Unfortunately for Andy, he's not famous enough for it to be Googleable. Um, okay, so 11. I don't think they will. I don't think they will get it. I think they're going to have to wait until they get 70%. It's going to be so difficult. Um, you got all the cars. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay. Oh, actually, it reminds me. Streamlabs is just a reminder. So I'm going to start. I'm going to have a rethink about what I give through the Patreon stuff and through YouTube and stuff, because I'm struggling to keep up with everything. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna do yet, but I need to have a think about it, because I'm not posting as many videos. There's only going to be the Cecconoid videos now that I post, and a few Mega 65 ones. I'm thinking of trimming the Mega 65 videos down to cut all the crap out, cut all this kind of chatter out, and keep it to just the code and stuff. Because the videos that do better, like, get the most views and get the most engagement, which is kind of what I'm after. Even though I don't really care about the money, I want videos to be engaging. Are the ones that don't have as much, that are shorter. So the shorter they are, the easier. So, all right. Okay. So what am I doing? Oh yeah, screen 11. So let's go and have a look for screen 11. Screen 11. Not in this one though. In screens here. Okay, screen 11. All right. So this is our screen here, and we should have a passable area, and I think this is the width here. So if I set a width of 2, both of those, let's see what happens. Hey, old school coder. How's it going? I'm really pleased that you've discovered 3 series tonight, because now you nobody's going to know quite what one to go for. So, all right, let's have a look. So, oh, actually, that hasn't put it in as 3 at all. Let's put it in as, okay. That's weird. Did I get the size wrong here? Maybe. Let's check this out. Okay, add passable area, screen macros. Add passable area. Okay. Oh, mask size. Yeah, that is correct. Okay. Pixel width. Okay. Did I not save it or something? Did just hang on? Let me close that down. Let's make a pixel width 1. I'm not sure what's going on here now. Because looking at this, it should add the mask size of this, but it didn't seem to do anything at all. Just thinking maybe I didn't save it or something. Has no kickball tonight. Yeah. Oh, that was so good yesterday. So I know you guys, most of you don't really care about the football, but oh my god, that was amazing. For those that do, you'll know how we feel. Oh, see, look, it is a problem. It is a problem. Okay. And the reason why this isn't a problem on the other screen is because it's locked to that position. It's locked to that horizontal position. So what I need to do is make sure that it correctly moves, I guess, with the. Okay, let's put it on 3 and work with that, because really it's only when it's on 3 that it needs to move. If it's on 1 or 2, then it's obviously as wide as the gap that it's in. So it's coming home. Yeah. Question is whose home is it coming home to? But yes, it was an amazing night. Sunday is going to be really, really, really cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it's the first time in my lifetime that I've seen England in a final. That's kind of crazy, considering we're a nation of football fanatics, really, or some of us are anyway. And it's the national sport, and it's we've got best leagues in the world and stuff. So, should I support England because of Shalon, or should I support Italy because of Prince Faze? Oh, that's a good point, actually. That's a good point. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, 55 years. It's mad to think that in my lifetime I've only seen 3 semi-finals, or will have only seen 3 semi-finals, and never seen a final. It's absolutely insane. Don't know if they've been in a set. Well, they were in the World Cup 3 years ago, and then before that, the last time was 1996. So it's been a while. Didn't England win the cricket? Oh, yeah, but I don't care about the cricket. Cricket's one of the most boring sports in the world to me. I don't understand how people can watch it. Soon France will not have been in a final since 50. I mean, you were in a final, what, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Okay, right. So turn 3 back on. So let's take a look at how this is moving. So somewhere in here, there is going to be some code which decides when we need to move the mask. So, which is looks like this bit here. Check left X. Check, are we to the right of the rectangles? Okay, so let's put a border increment in here somewhere so we know. So it looks like if we move in to the left of the, check, are we to the right of the rectangle's left side? Are we to the left? Okay, set sprite to play. Okay, blah blah blah. Set sprite to play position X. So it looks like this is the area that we would expect. So let's just put a border increment in there and see what happens. Oh, what's this series? Oh, cricket, football, no difference. Yeah, rugby's another one. I probably would like rugby if they didn't force me to play it at school. I was never a big sporting person at school. I like watching football, but I can't play it to save my life. The only sport I was any good at was tennis. That was all right, and I was all right for um, a British child of that age. I wasn't, I was never going to be any good at it, but I wasn't. I was good enough to kind of play for the school. That was about it. So. Um, but rugby, I hated. Rugby, I couldn't stand because they made us play it, and it was always when it was cold and miserable. That was the thing. It was like the go-to sport when it was cold and miserable. It's all muddy and wet outside, so let's just play rugby then. And so you would just get all the kind of lads that were twice the size of you just bashing you into the mud. Hated it, absolutely hated it, and since then it's just made me never ever want to watch it. So. Hockey I kind of enjoyed. Hockey was all right, but then we played that on an artificial pitch as well, so there was never any mud involved with that. So, and again, I was terrible at it though. So, okay, so this is flashing all the time. Oh, because we're on that side of it. So now we're underneath it. Now we're that side of it. Okay. Okay, so I think that border flash is wrong because that's happening not where I thought it was going to happen. So set sprite to player position X, ensuring it clamps to the right side. Oh, maybe it's to do with this data pixel width. Okay, maybe it's to do with this thing here. I suspect some because we made some changes around here. I can see some stuff around here. So let me just put it back to this. In fact, let me indent the things I'm playing around with. So, so I'm going to cancel that one, bring that one in, and then I'm going to do the same here as well because I have a funny feeling it's to do with these values. So, hey, Jez Jukes. as a parent, make them focus on cricket. It's the easiest sport to be good at and make good money. Problem is, I could never enjoy watching my kids if I made them play cricket. So I see that's fucks there as well. All right, does that look at the high bit of X? Yes, that's what this is doing here. But there's a calculation that's off here, because you can see when I go into here, it suddenly jumps back. The moment I pass through the box, it jumps. But obviously, look at the borders flashing the whole time. So this is happening too often, I think. Let's oops. Let's just undo those things. Actually, let's keep them indented so I know what I'm messing with. So what I want to know is there something... Oh, hang on, what's this? Okay, let's put this here. I'm just trying to figure out the exact spot where this is happening, and then I can work out the rest from there. So, no, I mean, yeah, I see. Yeah, that's true. So it's only when I get close. I can't work out exactly what it is where this is happening, but it's definitely to do with this routine somewhere. And then this seems to... Okay, let's try that one. Oh, one other thing the new overlay will let me do as well is create these new gambling games. So like the golden balls thing I was talking about. Ah, there we go. So now this is only happening if we're completely outside of the box. So on the left, so if I'm on the left-hand side and not touching the box, I'm not in line with the box. If I was to kind of be on the same X, same Y kind of level, then it flashes and then the box moves. Okay, so this is the box being placed at player X1 and player X2. So I think these values are being messed around with a little bit. And I think the reason for that is because what we're doing is we're subtracting a value if we're on the right side. Like here we go. Check the left, and we're adding a value to it here. And then we're doing the check. And then what I should really be doing is taking that value and subtracting 18 from it again, which is this value. No, it would be here, wouldn't it? Okay, but that's only going to be in the case of being on that side. So there has to be mask X, mask Y. Okay, rectangle SX2 is the right hand side of the player. Okay, so the right hand side of the rectangle, sorry. I think this value is not right for some reason. So I'm going to put a breakpoint in there. I'm going to run it, and I'm just going to check what's actually... I'll put the breakpoint just before it so I can see what the... oops. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's going to be a small bug. It's just one of those things. What's the other one you've had so far? Toothpaste, razor, and soap. Yeah, it is. It's a really good order to get these things in. It's yeah. You couldn't have thought of a better order to put them in. It's really good. Okay, so track pixel width. So we're looking at 4312. So let's have a look what's in 4312. 4312 is indeed 24 or 18 in hex. So it's kind of what you would expect. The X register is 0, so that is exactly the value that needs to be reading. So, but that's setting it to. Wait, that's no. Take the right hand side of the rectangle. Yeah. Okay, so well, actually, this bit's fine because this bit is actually mapping it to this is clamping it to the right hand side, right? That's what this is doing. So it's taking the right hand side of that rectangle. So the rectangle being the area. Let's just bring it on screen. The rectangle being this area here, the area that we define as passable. So this is x1, this is x2, or sx1 and sx2. So the left hand side, the right hand side. So what this is doing, this is saying, okay, we need to put the mask on the right hand side, but it can't go past the right hand side. So what it does is it subtracts the actual width of the mask, which is 24, 1/8, and stores that in the mask position. And that's so that it will always draw that mask right on the edge. And that's what we're seeing. We're definitely seeing that when we I can't because it's breaking, but when we move over here, the mask stops at this edge, which is exactly right. The problem is this area here, I think, is wrong. I think what should probably be happening here is this. Hang on, is player X1 add 18? Okay, so I think if we subtract 18 here, I think this will fix it. Let's get rid of the break, which I think I've already done, have I? Yeah, because it was here. Okay. Now, this does mean I need to go and check a few places, but I think that's just right. Why are you adding to the player position when it should be equal to the player position? Okay, so the reason this is added here is because we need to check the right-hand side of the player against the left-hand side of the rectangle. But then what I'm not doing is restoring it back. So actually, what I probably should be doing is this instead. Instead of using these values at all down here, I should be doing this, which is already here actually. So because then I don't have to do any of this addition or subtraction. I just use those values. Do you know, Andy, you've not had points for a while, so I'm going to give you some points for that because that pointed me into an area that was that gave me a bit more kind of information. Well, not a bit more information, a better refactoring of the code. So, one of the other things that the new overlay will do as well is you'll get alerts for when I award points as well. So, the things you smuggled in your rectum. Okay, so let's take a look. So hopefully now this should follow. Oh no! Oh, okay. It kind of does, but only when we've moved far enough outside it. So it's better, but it's not quite right. I need to be completely outside of it. Okay, so that means there's another comparison happening. So this is almost right. So I'm going to leave that as it is for now. So I suspect. Let's take a look. Okay. Check we are to the right of the rectangle's left side. So this is actually checking. Huh. Yeah, see, this is tricky because this is now checking. Let me just get rid of that. I think Andy's right. It's definitely along these lines. So I think what's happening is there's a certain setup for the thinner masking, which doesn't quite work with the full masking. So well done. Welcome, Sean, as well. I didn't see you come in. I gave you points. I gave you points already. Yeah, see that works. So let's see if that's. I have a funny feeling that's not going to. Feel like it's not going to work down here. So yeah, there is no alert yet, but there will be an alert for points on the new overlay. This isn't the new overlay yet. It's going to be a little while before that happens. Yeah, see this. Okay. So this was why. Because if I come into the screen, it takes me actually moving into that area for it to trigger. So what needs to actually happen here is if this value, so let's do it here actually, let's do it underneath. If the mask is less than 3 charts wide, check right hand side of player. Okay, so we need to actually check this thing on the right hand side. So I need this value here. And if this is less than 3, or more than 3, sorry, it would do nothing. So we jump to here. So at this point, the carry will be clear already because this has failed. So if this has failed, then the carry must be clear. So I can just take these values now. Toothpaste was already done. Lip gloss, lipstick. Okay, so let's try that. So I think what this will do, this will allow the mask to continue as normal on a 3x3 kind of, well, on the 3 wide masks, which should mean this the first screen is correct. I need to get rid of that border flicker as well because that's going to do my head in now. Now I know where it is. I don't need it anymore. But it also probably means I need to do something over here. So, well, let's see what happens. I might need to go 2 paths through this because the difference with this mask here is it moves with us horizontally, whereas the mask, yeah, see that's fine. Actually, it didn't appear on that screen until. Oh, that's a funny one. Okay, but it worked anyway, so that's fine. But then this one down here is always locked horizontally because it's attached to a column. So it should never trigger the horizontal movement. You see, it doesn't trigger at all. Ah, damn it, that's annoying. All right. Okay, so in that case, now I know it's working on the other screen. I'm going to start on. Actually, no, I'll move my way through. That's fine. So I'm going to put the border color change into here because I know this. I know this needs to be kind of changed. So let's just do the border color check here. It's going to be fun with the new the golden balls style gambling because you guys use the raffle all the time. So I'm determined to kind of replace the raffle with something a bit more bespoke. It will still work roughly the same way, and the output will still be roughly the same amount of points per minute sort of thing, but it will be done in a way that's a bit more enjoyable than just kind of randomly. Oh, see, look, it's never adding that value. Okay. Okay, it's interesting. Oh no, if the carry is 3, then it comes to here. What the fuck? Okay, so I'm going to ignore the one on the first screen now. I like the fact that there are like other things as well. Oh, new! Oh, I thought it was a new series. It's not. Oh, the theme's now available though. Oh crap! Okay, I need to start on a different screen. So I'm going to start on screen 12. In that case. What? Okay, that doesn't make any sense. That should be working. I need to fix that. In fact, I'm going to quickly go and have a look at that now. It's not going to be fair. So you probably still need 75%. I thought I'd changed that. God damn it, that's annoying. Let me just search for that in here. Oh, wait, it does say 0.7. What? I changed it to 70%, but now it's... That's really weird. Let me just check BG theme. That's really strange how that's not working for some reason. Oh god, yeah, I see it. Sorry, my bad. Okay, you do need 75, unfortunately, but it will be 70 next time. I forgot to add that one freaking check in there. That's annoying. It's only 70%. My series is no, it won't be quickly discovered. What is the theme of this one? Hang on. Oh shit, I'm not sure which one it is actually. SP might tell you. He might not though, so it's up to you to bug him, see if you can get it out of him. Things that offend the Chinese community. Oh, nice one. Nice one. Okay, okay, game loop. I need game loop screen. Where's the start screen? Where's the freaking start screen? I thought it was here. I guess it's not. Oh yeah, there it is. Damn it! All right. So I want to start on screen 12. It should get me past that bit without the break happening. I want the break to happen on this screen. So. The funny thing is, as well, is when you get multiple series on the go at once, trying to remember what was in each series is going to be really difficult unless you're SP and have got everything written down. Okay. Oh, what? Oh, this is the pixel width. Okay, right, that's why. So actually, what I should be probably looking at here is not pixel width, but mask size instead. Well, actually, pixel width will work as well, but we'll use mask size because that's more kind of relevant for the actual piece of information I want, which is whether or not it's 3 wide or not. Okay, so, and that's because that directly relates to the Freya. Okay, right, that should work now. Oops, let's get rid of the break and. Where was it? There it is. It's impressive working a fake crash screen into the game. Oh shit! Forgot I can die now. Well, I didn't forget. I just was terrible. Hey, there we go. Perfect on that side. All right, so let's try. Ooh. Yay, perfect. All right, cool. Oh, there was a little bit of a glitch as I went through the top there. Actually, it's fine. Okay, that's good. All right, let's let's turn the border crap off and let's just tidy the code up a little bit because I left a few little bits in here and there. So, so can tidy all this up now. So let's bring that back. Get rid of that. Nice. And this is all working now with both thin masks and fat masks. Yeah, it should be fine elsewhere as well. So at least this code is not that hard to understand. It takes a little while just to remember what the different different positions are, but it's pretty decent. 4-way scrolling is a pain. Yes, what Andy says, definitely use a shadow screen because it's easier to do that then. 4-way scrolling is always going to be tricky. What's worse is 8-way scrolling. Because 4-way scrolling infers that you're only ever moving either up and down or left and right. 8-way scrolling is where it gets really, really tricky because with 8-way scrolling, you need to be able to move both across and down at the same time. And that's where you need to really need to optimize those routines. Having unoptimal routines will make you struggle. One of the tricks I would definitely recommend when you're doing 4-way or 8-way scrolling is always scroll 8 pixels at a time. So basically have the screen in a particular state And then when the player goes to move, decide whether that movement is in which of the 8 directions that movement is in. And then just scroll in that direction for 8 pixels. So you're always scrolling 8 pixels before you stop and then get the next scroll. Don't try and scroll it. Don't try and scroll it 1 pixel at a time in each direction. If you start moving in a direction, then it moves 8 pixels before it stops. Even if the player just nudges by 1 pixel and then stops, make sure that the screen itself scrolls 8 pixels. You'll see this a lot on games. Sam's Journey does it. Turrican does it as well. Lots and lots of games do it. So I think, yeah, does Boulder Dash do that as well? Yeah, so but basically, if you try and scroll 1 pixel at a time, and you get into a really weird situation where what you have to have is you have to have a piece of code which does all the tile shifting for horizontal, all the piece of code that you have to have for vertical shifting, and then what happens is if both of them happen at the same time, you have to call both the left shift and the vertical shift. You have to call the horizontal and the vertical shift one after each other, and it's way too slow. Whereas if you always guarantee that you're moving 8 pixels in a direction first, what you can do is you can offset your horizontal position, say by 4 pixels. Then that means when you move diagonally, the worst case scenario is that you move diagonally, and what will happen is after 4 pixels of moving to the left or right, you will scroll horizontally. You will have to shift all the tiles, and then 4 pixels later, you will scroll vertically. You never do them both at the same time then. So just offset them by 4 pixels and make sure it's always moving a whole character on every thing. I hope that kind of makes sense. Maybe I can go into that in more detail at some point. But if you do want you want to ask any questions about it, please feel free to ask me, John, because I have done for Doc 2. I probably did 5 or 6 different versions of the scroller for that, and it took a lot of time to get it right. Why do you do that? Is it more efficient? Yeah, just like I say, yeah. So if you imagine, let me show you quickly down here. So if you imagine scrolling, and you've got 6, 7, 8, you've got 8 pixels that way, and then you've got 8 pixels vertically, right? So well, the common mistake is that people just move kind of freely within this area, within this hardware scroll. If you do that, what happens is you can never know what the next frame is going to involve, right? So if I'm in this corner up here and I decide that I'm going to move up and to the left, and that means on the next frame I need to both scroll all the tiles to the right and all the tiles down as well. Now, you can have 8 different routines to do this. You can have one routine for scrolling tiles down, one for routine scrolling tiles diagonally, but then your loops are going to get really, really big, especially because you tend to unroll these things anyway for optimizations. The better way to do it is make sure that you start somewhere like this. This is your position, and your position will always move from here and say this is the next character along here. Oops. Probably shouldn't have done like that. Hang on. Why's that not working? For some reason my Alt click is not working. Oh, because it's Visual Studio Code. That all right. Basically, if you have that, and this is your next character here, and you have a load of kind of like this, you only ever move from this position to this position, whether that's being the next character or not. You always move 8 pixels horizontally and 8 pixels vertically in one movement. If you're moving just horizontal, and then you just move 8 pixels, but you never ever stop halfway between. And if you never stop halfway between, that means your center point can be, or your point of rest can be 4 pixels across and 0 pixels vertically. So that means if you do move diagonally, you will never do both horizontal and vertical shifts at the same time. And that way you can stagger them out as well. So if you do them 4 pixels apart, that basically means you can move 2 pixels per frame and still be able to stagger the shifts over two frames, which is another technique as well. As Andy says, use a shadow, well, a double buffer in this case. So have 2 copies of your screen. Have the current screen and then your next screen, and always be doing your shifting into your next screen. And this is the other advantage of only moving a full 8 pixels in one direction. Once you start that movement, you know what the next screen is going to look like. So you can scroll that. You can create that in the background while everything else is going on, and then as soon as you're ready to show it, just switch your buffers around, switch your screen pointers around. Anyway, like I say, if you have any questions about that, please feel free to ask me. I spent a long time messing around with doing that. So okay, so I think we're good with the masks now. So what I'm going to try and do now is play around with the sprite multiplexer first and see what we can do, see what changes we can make to that. So it's actually a pretty good screen that we're on now. We're starting on screen 12, so let's go and have a look at that and see what's oops, wrong button. Okay, so the first screen that we start on at the moment is this screen here, and you can see there's actually not a problem with this screen. It's managing it okay. The telltale sign is when our particles flicker, our exhaust particles flicker, and they're not flickering here. So that's good. That's good. That means there isn't really a problem on the screen. But when I go into this screen, we definitely do see a problem. We see particles begin to flicker up at the top there. And this is for a few reasons. One, because this laser is using a lot more processing time to generate the laser itself, plus the fact there's extra particles down here caused by the laser beam hitting things. Plus a few other little things as well. It's probably something to do with a door. There's probably a little bit of code that checks on the door, but actually it doesn't seem to have much of an effect. There's also the mask here as well that's constantly being checked. But I think the big culprit is going to be the laser. And one of the biggest culprits on every screen is going to be the multiplexer, because at the moment, regardless of how many sprites we display on the screen, the multiplexer is always going to do the same amount of sorting and rearranging. And the thing with the multiplexer is the sorting routine is always going to be the slow thing. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually, first of all, find the multiplexer, and I'm going to add a border change around the sort routine, which is here. This one here. Okay, let me find the RTS at the end here. Okay, it does have a debug already in here, but I think this is going to probably show for everything. So let's just do a manual one for now. So I'm using a sort that's on Cadaver's site from Swiv. It's an adapted sort, so it's been changed slightly to be a bit more efficient. I've updated it a little bit further as well to allow me to leave the first 2 sprites alone. So the player and the masks don't get multiplex, which is exactly what we want. But it also has this extra piece of code at the end, which actually works out the rasters ahead of time, so I don't have to do any raster checking. It allows me to have slightly tighter formations. But you will see it is going to be quite heavy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a way to dynamically change that on the fly. It shouldn't be too difficult to do. But it will allow us to have less sort time. So this is a sort time at the moment. You can see it's about the same. It's going to be about the same on every screen. It's kind of less busy on this screen because the sprites aren't moving around as much. But you can see the overall sort time is roughly the same. Now, if I go up to the top of the screen on this one, you can see there. Now, if I move about the kind of width of the thing down, you see the sprite, so the particles are getting a little bit less flickery. So that would help a lot if I can reduce that down. And if I move down to about here, they stop flickering completely. So there's a lot going on in this laser as well. So let's go and put something around the laser. It's going to find all the little things that we can kind of mess with and change those. Okay, so here's the laser update. Okay, so this is our update. We can maybe stagger some of this as well. So oh, there is a stagger actually. It's working on every other frame by the looks of things here. Okay, let's put see how much that's laser. I suspect that laser is taking an awful lot of time up. Now, one thing we could do, hey monsters. So one thing we could do is have the laser calculated once for each angle as you enter the screen, and then nod again. Actually, it's not too bad. I was fully expecting that to be way up in the border up here, but that's not that bad. Let me turn the what was that I pressed? I don't know what I pressed then, but all right. So what I want to do is just turn the full borders on. So this will allow me to see exactly how much it's using the debug borders. Okay, so it is encroaching a little bit, but it's not too bad actually. I suspect what's going on is the actual particle system itself. So let's put something around the particle system. Particles here, and let's find the update routine. Update particle. Oh, actually, it's in. Okay, it's going to have to be done in the game loop side of things because this is not actually called in a single update routine. It's kind of spread out. Init particles, draw particles. That's not that one. Particles clear. Okay, I'm gonna wrap. It's a little bit annoying actually to do it like this, but you see the particles are done all the way down here, so I kind of suspect that they're just done so late that they cause issues. But I'm trying to think, is there anything else that could be done in this position? Maybe the decals. Monsters, thank you for the bits. Cheers. I'm not drinking vodka tonight. I'm on water because my stomach's not very well. But cheers anyway. I appreciate it as always. Oh, so a little update on the Pi 400s as well. So I will be doing the first giveaway for those. I'm not going to do the same night as the current challenge. I'm going to do that the week before. So that will be on. Let me try and get the date right in my head. 10th. So it'll be the 24th, I believe. So the week before, basically. So the 24th. As I say, I'm not doing. There won't be a stream on the 17th because I'm actually going out, venturing out into the wide world for the first time in 16 months to have a meal. So I'm going to do that on the 17th. But on the 24th, I'll do the Pi 400 giveaway. So just make sure you save a few channel points for them. I'll make sure it's not too expensive, but I do want to make sure that the Pi 400s go to regular viewers rather than just people who turn up for that. So Big Easy, no, it won't be Big Easy. It's some vegan place. I forget what it's called. It's actually quite nice. I'm not a huge fan of vegan food, but I quite like this place. It's all right. So. Do we need to be online to collect? Yes, preferably, please. In fact, yes, definitely. I think it would be. Yeah, I think it needs to be. You need to be present at midnight for this one, because unlike the competitions where people work for months and months and months on these are going to be the sort of things where it's based entirely on just buying tickets with channel points. So. After the vegan place, you're going somewhere to eat food. Yeah, maybe I'll order a steak on the way home. I've been there before and it was pretty nice actually. I kind of enjoyed it. So But yeah, it's the first time we've met up with our friends in 16 months, and it will be the first time I've actually gone out anywhere um, other than kind of having a jab or putting the rubbish out. Oh, thanks for the host as well, Sinar. I missed that completely. Thank you very much. Okay, yeah. So this is why we're getting issues. You can see the particle drawing routine. Um, it's happening. Actually, the clear is happening all the way down here, which is why we're not seeing the red border. But you can see on this screen. Look at how far down that screen the particle updates are. Okay, so this is fine. This is just an example of kind of some screens are more busy than others. So I'm going to get rid of all that stuff because even my eyes were going on that. But you can definitely see where these problems are. So what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and find ways to alleviate the issues. Flickering particles is not a bad thing, right? It's not a terrible thing. The particles will flicker automatically anyway when there's issues, but the less we can make that happen, the better. The main thing is that the stuff that is less frequent, like maybe the decals could be switched around. That would be one thing to do because yeah, let's do that actually because I think the border for the decals is probably less important because you don't do that all the time. That's only when you're shooting. Whereas with the exhaust particles, they're always coming out. So given both of those things, if they both start flickering, you're going to notice the particles more than the decals because the particles will always be flickering, whereas will always be there with your exhaust, but where the decals won't. I don't think the decals have a huge effect on things, but that's fine. All right, let's turn the laser thing off as well. I will leave the multiplexer on, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and try and change some values in the constants file just to see if changing the values would fix things. And if it does, then we can just make them dynamic values, which I think is something I've been talking about doing for a while. So I may as well implement them. So at the moment we use these constants. In fact, we only have 16 multiplex sprites. That's a little bit crazy. I thought we had more than that. But let's see what happens if I reduce that. So if I reduce that down to 12, for instance, and then go back into that screen, let's have a look how wide that uh, that border sort is. See, that's a lot smaller, right? That's like half the size now. And see, the laser still works perfectly fine. There's nothing about that laser that needed it to be more than that. But we're still getting flickering, but the flickering stops a lot earlier now. So we're stopping here rather than which was down here before. So that's an improvement. Now, how many sprites do we actually have on here? So we've got two for the player. So two for the player. One for the player itself. One for the mace. So that's two. One for the mask. Three. So there's always a minimum of three used by the screen, right? And so it's always whatever is extra on the screen plus three. So what have we got? We've got I think this is 7. I think this is 7 long. So that's 10, 11. So actually 11 would be enough on here. So let's just see what putting it to 11 does. And then what we'll do is we'll have a go at making it that dynamic value. The other dynamic value will be the number of particles as well, maximum number of particles. More is more rest of time. Yeah, okay, so it would be this one here, I think, which would change things. So on Saturday, going to do what's it called? Yeah, you can see now it needs more on this screen. You can see the flickering is all kind of screwed up. There's sprites missing in the middle here. Oh no! This is that jam again. All right. Yeah. Wait. Is this because? Repeat for F3. Okay. Where's that? So this is. Oh, this looks like it's to do with. Oh, that was a music routine. Damn it. All right. Did I go? Oh, it should have been this one. 347C. Okay. Wait, no, that's not right. Collision routines. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to worry too much about that for now. I will things like these kind of more random kind of jams. I'm just going to kind of leave unless there's a real obvious cause to it. I'm just going to leave it till a later date. So for now, I'm just going to close that. I mean, maybe this happens every time. I don't know. I have a feeling it's to do with the multiplexer though, because it always seems to happen when I play around with multiplexer numbers. So. Yes, okay, it is. All right. So maybe what's happening is when there are not enough sprites to draw and you switch screens. Because when it's on 12, it's fine. Okay, so maybe I'm miscounting. Maybe there's one extra sprite that I'm not counting on properly here. Oh man, I love the fact. I love the fact that that seems to be the theme. The theme is, yeah, it's a brilliant theme. I'm really pleased you've done that one, Agrifin, and I'm really pleased with the order that they've come in. I can't really say much more than that because it's just brilliant. It's a really clever theme. Okay, cool. So that does fix that issue. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by trying to make the multiplexer have a more dynamic system in it to allow flexible things. Now, I'd already done this in here, so I had actually created this thing here, where you actually grab these values from here rather than from the constants. So you set the maximum in the constants, and that becomes like the default value in here. But then you can set them when you enter the screen, so it gets stored in these two values. So I'm going to put that back, and then I'm going to go and find where these are being used. So the max is always going to stay the same for the data array because we need to make sure that the maximum number, the maximum space that we leave available is going to be correct. So I'm going to leave that as it is. But then what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go and find these values where they're used in other places. So the initialization, no, doesn't need to be done. Again, this is just going to be the setup for the loop. But here is where we do need to change it. Clearing the sprites. Actually, clearing the sprites happens on a screen change. I think it's perfectly fine to allow every sprite to be cleared up to the end of the list. Yeah, it does. It does get. I don't want to say anything. I'm gonna leave you guys to figure it out because I do think it's freaking hilarious. It's a good one, this though, very good one. Okay, so there is this V. Oh, this looks like it's already using that value. So I just happen to be already using that value without changing it. So actually, I'm probably doing this throughout. I'm just not changing it. Yeah, look, I'm using it here as well. Okay, so this is doing all of them. Now, the reason this is doing all of them, I mean, it shouldn't matter though, still. This looks like it could be all right as it is. It's using it there. So the only reason this one is not using it is because this is an unrolled loop. So we could have it break out of the unrolled loop early, maybe, if the value is higher, but I think it will still be all right. This is just calculating rasters. The sort itself is the heavy thing, and everything else seems to be using those values. So, okay, what I'm going to do then in that case, I'm going to try calling this routine from our screen 11. So I'm going to move over to here. So screen 11 is our oh, look, I already had it here as well. Screen 11 is our laser screen, so we're going to set that there, and then I'm going to open screen 12, and I'm going to set it back on this one as well. So now, I think for now I'm just going to do it like this, but what I will do is once I prove that this is working, I will make this a default when you change screen. So before the init is called, it will call this routine with 16, and then if you don't do anything in your init, it's the default. Actually, this should probably be that. So this would be the default. So the cool thing about this is what this means is on screens that don't have any additional sprites on, we can almost turn the multiplexer off by setting it to 8, and it will literally do nothing then at that point. We could even maybe actually have the multiplexer properly turn off. Okay, that's good. So that seems to be on. So what we're watching for now is the size of this bar down here. Did that get bigger? I don't think it did. Or if it did, it's... Oh, it did ever so slightly. Not by a lot, though. But it definitely did change slightly. Because that's like 3-4 pixels into that bottom area now. Oh, no, it's... Yeah, I mean, it's not by much, but it definitely has changed. Okay. Does it need to be 16 there? I think that looks right to me. Let's try setting it higher. I just want to see that it's working, so... uh, Wait, was toilet paper in that series? I know I had a toilet paper in my own series, but I don't think toilet paper was... Are you going to be doing an updated version of 650? Probably not. I simply don't have the time at the moment to do it. It's... Honestly, I'm struggling to find time to even... to kind of have for myself, just to play games and stuff. It's shocking how much time I actually spend doing kind of stuff at the moment. So probably not, unfortunately. But in the future, who knows? When things die down a little bit. Okay, this isn't actually changing, is it? You see that there is no change here at all. The sort routine is the same length here. So I actually think maybe the sort routine is based on quite heavily on this bottom section in here. Not even time to eat meat at the moment. I mean, who knows? Maybe in the near future. When I say near future, I mean kind of like next year, really. I might consider doing it, but at the moment, no, unfortunately. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a little check just at the end of this to escape out of this. So I'm going to put Actually, I'm going to call it escape. And then what I'm going to do is at the very end here, I'm going to load accumulator with the value that's in I. And then we're going to compare that to the max multiplex sprites. And if that's equal, well, actually, we'll do it like this because it's going to be a long branch, isn't it? So do that. There we go. So there's a little bit of extra code, but I'm hoping now it should jump out of this routine a bit quicker. Because really, it's only really a problem on screens that are busy, right? So, oh, that's the last one of the fast foods. Well done. It always takes a redeem though for anyone to get it. When things die down. Yeah, I know it's very optimistic of me. Hey, there we go. And we can definitely see a difference now. You can see there I'm using a lot less, and then I come on this screen and use a lot more. Okay, so now we've got a more dynamic dynamic multiplexer. So let's do the same thing with the where's the constants for this? Let's do the same thing with the I set the multiplexer to 20 now because now it's flexible. It should be all right. Let's do the same thing with the particles. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a similar. Oh, actually, let me move the. Let me move this into the screen kind of reset thing. So by default, when you load a new screen, it will set these values. So there is a reset somewhere in here. I forget where it is, but it's definitely around here somewhere. Here it is. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to set those. So this is the area. This is like the reset everything for the next screen. So let me just quickly check that that's working. So now you only change the multiplexer values if you need to. And what I'll do is I'll make a macro out of that as well. Actually, I'll make a macro that does both particles and the multiplexer at the same time. Because if you're going to change one, you're probably going to be changing both. So, and yeah, that's definitely helps the particles a lot. They can go a lot higher now. So let's change the. Yeah, so the only problem is those decals, but I think they're less of an issue, really. Okay, so let's make a macro. I'm going to put it right at the top. Kind of. Oh, actually, that's why is that like that? Why is that up there? Why is the bonus pods stored in there? This is really weird. Why is that there? I guess because it's been used by this. Oh, I don't like that at all. Do you know what? I'm not going to question it right now. I'm just going to make macro. So this is another screen macro set. I'm going to call it set performance. And this is going to be sprites particles. And so we know that the first one is going to be the particles, the sprites, sorry. So we'll load, came in with sprites. Basically, if we do, I am going to check if it's null. So if so, you can set one and not the other, but it will be the same routine for both. And then we'll do the same thing with the particles here. Okay, so now we need a set max routine in the particles. So same thing as we've got in here. I'm just going to copy. In fact, I'm just going to grab that whole thing, trim it down a little bit. So let me find the particles. Let's have a look. Let's go right up to the top. So particles. Okay, so change that. I'm going to change that. Okay, so set max is going to be based on the constant. The constant is just max particles, so let's call it V max particles. V in this case just stands for variable. It's just what I was using. Don't think I need two of these, so this would be max particles like that. So by default, it's just going to be the max particles value. So that means in our reset, in our map loader in here, and we also need to do okay, so that's set maximum on there as well. And so now we can go and play around with these values. So what do we need to do here? Okay, so we're going to need to find every count of max particles and replace it with V max particles. I do not need that there either. So actually this probably... it's probably overkill that actually. Let's no, it's called on an initialization. It's fine. I'm not usually a fan of using a routine like this because of the overhead of doing a JSR on an RTS is like 12 cycles. But on a screen that quickly on a screen that on a routine, sorry, that's only called once per screen. As if the screen starts up, it should be fine. Oh, what's that? High remedy. Oh my god, it couldn't get any better. This is brilliant. This is brilliant. What have we had from the comedies? I love it. I love that. I love that. Yeah, I love that all of these nuances are confusing. People are figuring out now how to submit decent series now. Not Aquafin's shopping list. Okay, so yeah, here we go. You can see max particles. So we've got a kills particles. So the only problem here is if we're not careful, certain things may not kill all the parts. So yeah, certain particles may kind of hang over a little bit. However, kill particles only happens here on a reset. So actually, I think max particles is fine here. So let me just copy V max particles. Okay, draw particles definitely has to be adjusted. So the moment this is comparing max particles, hang on, stop particle count. Wait, what? Oh, divided by 2. Ah, because this is spreading it out over two blocks, basically. Oh shit! I forgot about that. If I do that alone, that will hugely improve. I forgot about that. So the number of particles that get processed per frame, that is what this is. You see, that has no effect on this because there's not many particles on this screen. And it takes way longer. Oh, no, it's about the same, actually. We see now they're flickering because there's too many particles on the screen. If I change that to 3, let's try that. You can try the BG theme, but I don't think it's going to work at the moment because of the percentage things are wrong. Oh, yeah, look at that. I think that's better. I think that's definitely better. So I'm going to leave it on 3. Actually, no, 3 is going to be awkward. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to change this draw particles routine so that now it uses, instead of max particles, it uses this value. But because this value is a value in memory, to get it kind of divided by 3 is going to be a pain. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it divided by 2. I'm going to blank this one out. This was the original code, and instead I'm going to do this. I'm going to half this value. So this is a few more cycles than this, but it's now variable. So we've now got a variable value here. So let's just check if there's a max particles anywhere else down here. So there is this one here. Oops. So I'm going to blank that out. I'm going to change that for the max particles. And then clear particles. Clear particles is different because clear particles is actually just clearing the values that we have stored in zero page. So we're using this area of zero page here, and comma X. It's one of the few occasions that you'd actually use this. And what we're doing is whenever we draw a particle to the screen, we're storing that screen address in zero page. So then all we to clear those particles later, all we have to do is cycle through that list basically. And this is the quickest way to kind of very quickly go through a list and write values to it. It is a massive waste of zero page, but it does help speed this up quite significantly. So okay, we do have a compare max particles -2. So in that case, I am going to create a V max particles. What did I call it in here? -2. Oops. So I'm kind of random question, but what do you think? Sorry, converting Atari 2600 game to C64 would be like. It's probably more pain than it sounds. Because it's not that straightforward. The way the video works is so different. In fact, the way the memory works is so different. So while the processing is kind of okay, the way everything else works is not. So you would have lots of weird. You could probably come up with some way of doing it. It would probably be easier to. It would probably be easier to write something which kind of write little libraries which emulate certain features. It would not be a simple thing anyway. That's for sure. Okay, where was I changing? Here, there we go. Okay, let me just put that back. Whoops. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate that line. So I'm just trying to duplicate the line so that if I want to change it back, I can. Although this is all already done. So I just put -2 in there. Come back to that line in a second and do -2 in here. Oops. Oh my god, stop pressing the wrong buttons. There we go. Okay, so that basically allows us to get a next particle when we've got a maximum amount. This is another one that's going to need changing, so I'm just going to duplicate that. That's going to be V max particles. I don't know why I'm duplicating it. There we go. And that's going to be divided by 4. It does the same as this. This is the update functionality, so this means we're only going to update that many particles per frame. Is there a maximum? There's a maximum exhaust particles. Is there a maximum elsewhere on here? There is a max particles here. Okay. Okay, and then we've just got a particle array there, and then a max exhaust particles. Okay, cool. So this will allow us to adjust the particles at the same time. So let's try that out on our screen 11. So instead of using this now, we're going to call our macro. So we've got performance, set performance. So we're going to set the sprites to 12. We know that's the correct number of sprites for that screen. And let's reduce the number of particles down to 24. and see what happens. I like people seeing people make Easter eggs makes me feel a lot better about focusing on my. Oh, what's going on here? It seems to have crashed or something. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? I've broken something. I'm gonna wait. It shouldn't. Oh, if I. What the hell is that? 229 in multiplayer. So have I accidentally deleted something? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I had accidentally deleted something. Oh no. What was I reading? Oh yeah, it makes me feel a lot better about focusing on my NIH engine project in the Unreal Unity era. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of React at the moment. JavaScript React again. After not doing it for a year because I've changed careers. Going back to it's actually been quite nice. So I started doing the debugger, which is in React and Electron. That's kind of worked out quite nicely. Yeah, look at that. There we go. Way less flickering on them now. I mean, they're still flickering, but way less. And as I move down the screen, so perfect. We can set the performance per screen now, which means that things are going to look, the decals are flickering less. In fact, the particles are. But yeah, this is perfect. So on a screen like this, where I know there's really no particles on this screen. The only particles are the exhaust particles and the laser particles. Whereas on this screen, I know for a fact that there's lots of particles, lots of things are going to explode. So it makes sense to have the particle counts as high as possible on this screen. That's really awesome. That's really cool that that's working. So uh, some kind of father and son link. Okay. 1960s setting series. Yeah, I'm pleased with that. That's a nice performance enhancement, I think. Because except now I have no freaking laser. I can see. That's interesting. Can see the laser moving. It's like that screen did not initialize then at all. Oh God, what is going on there? Oh, there's a sprite expansion going on there. What's that about? Okay, that door's open. All right, let's just. Yeah, there's a sprite expansion going on there. I'm not sure why. And a CPU jam. All right, so we've got a few things to fix now. Okay. The beam is broken, yeah. BT Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks from movie Big, where he becomes a kid again. So there's something screwy going on when I go into another screen. Now it's almost certainly going to be due to the way that things reset, I think, between screens. Because now we've got a dynamic value. When I go into here, the particle count's been raised up again, right? So, but I don't know why the sprite expand happens. That's a weird one. Oh, and then just a crash here. I actually just oh god, okay, yeah. So there are weird things happening. So it could be the timing of these as well. So there is these changes that have been made here. Maybe they're happening a little bit too late. let's try doing them before I reset everything here, but I don't think that's going to be it either. So this is at the beginning of the scroll screen. Okay, let's. I love watching you all guess the things. Okay, so I mean that is definitely a hell of a lot better in this screen now. A hell of a lot better. But the problem is, I wonder if it's just going anywhere in this screen. Oh no, okay. So just going to and from that screen seems to be fine. What did I just change? Did I change? I forgot what I changed now. Oh, in the map loader, I changed the position of these. All right. But I was blowing some stuff up down here. So let's go down here and blow these mines up, which generates particles. And then it crashes. Okay. So, do I reset the sprite count, the particle counter at this point? Let's try that. So, particles kill particles. Because at the moment, what's happening is we may be, the next particle may be too high up. So, what I'm going to try doing is instead of setting, I'm going to set next particle to this value whenever the particles are killed. So in this place here, so at the very end of this, I'm going to do load accumulator with max exhaust particles. Oh, God's sake. Store that in next particle. Okay. Now, is that going to be the same for sprites? No, it's a different system in sprites. So okay, so let's try again. So at this point, we're not setting any of the particle. So actually, is the particle? What is the particle being reset to? Let's take a quick look. Okay, max particles. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So it's definitely to do with triggering these because there's no other sprites on this screen. So just triggering these. Why though? Why? Why? So what is it? Where is it stuck here? It's stuck somewhere in memory. It's stuck at sprite splits. Okay. Okay. So draw sprites up to next raster is what it was doing. It keeps doing that. Okay. Yeah, it's constantly at that location. Why is it constantly there? Draw sprites up to next raster. Okay, let's take a look at that. Draw sprites up to next raster. So this routine should be called. Why is it getting stuck here though? That's the weird thing. It should be called once per frame, right? This is the. Oh no, it's not actually. It's called. Aha. It's VSprite max set. Yes, it is. But I think um, the problem is, I believe, when it resets, there is. Where is it? Yeah. So when I do the sort, there's two sorts happening. First of all, it sorts the sprites, and then it looks at the list of sprites, and it uses those to work out where the raster splits should be. Um, God damn you guys. I hate you guys. You're too good at this. Ugh. The Big is the worst film ever. What's wrong with you? Okay, so yeah, I think what is happening is, so it does the initial swap, which sorts all the sprites, and it's doing that based on the maximum number that we've got, which is fine, which means only a subsection of the list is being sorted. However, one of the things it does is it also creates raster positions as well. So the problem is that if you're only sorting half of the list, that means the raster positions for the second half of the list are all kind of incorrect at that point. So I think what needs to happen is that on a reset, on a screen reset, these raster positions need to also be reset. Because what I think is happening is it's then waiting for the next raster line, which then never comes because it's the kind of being flipped upside down. So um, uh, I hate Tom Hanks except for The Burb. The Burbs is brilliant. The Burbs is one of the best films ever. So funny. Um, yeah, I know he said except The Burbs. I think Burbs is brilliant. Yeah, Tom Hanks is all right. Tom Hanks is all right. Forrest Gump is good. I really like Forrest Gump. It's kind of a little bit. You can tell it was made as Oscar bait, but I think it's a good. Yeah, it is a little bit overrated, but I still think it's a good movie. It's a very good movie. Okay. Okay. So what I want to do is whenever the sprites are cleared. So in this bit here, I also want to set a value into the raster, which is this one here. So we're already setting. What are we setting here? Sprite sorted indexes. No, I don't want that. So what I want to set is a value in here for data.raster, x. Now, I don't know if it's going to be 0 or FF. I don't know which one I need to set. I'm going to try setting 0 because I think that's probably the most likely value. And this needs to be all of the sprites. Yeah. Okay, let's try that. I think that might actually solve the issue. Uh, I honestly thought you guys were not going to get the connection to this. I thought there was such a tenuous connection between them. I didn't think you would get it. I'm so annoyed with myself. And it had to be bloody Sean that got it as well. Right, okay. Oh, it's still crashing. All right, let's see where it's crashing. 5718. That sounds like the same place. Oh no, now it's going into. Oh wait, no, it is the same place. Yeah, it's the same place. All right. So let's try setting the raster of FF, which means they're off the screen in that case. It doesn't really matter where I put them. It's definitely something to do with this because it's getting stuck in that sprite loop. And this might actually fix a few of the other issues as well. Uh, I'm trying to catch up with the chat now. I'm trying to see what your thought process is behind this. But yeah, it's pretty obvious that's what the freaking connection is now. You just got to find all the movies now. Aha! Set these off. I don't know why setting these off seems to trigger it, but it does. Fuck, it still does as well. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to try here is I'm going to disable one of the performance optimizations and not the other one, so we can see which one it is. So this is why having the nullable values is going to be useful. So we're going to turn off the particle stuff first. So give us an idea which one is crashing. So guys. Oh god. Not really. No, it's just that the macro has some conditionals in it that will check if the value I pass in is null and do something slightly different for the macro. Okay, that had no effect whatsoever. So that maybe it's the sprites. Okay, first of all, I just want to just check if I do nothing on this screen because I'm starting to think it's just this screen. I prefer Ryan Reynolds over Jason Bateman. I just tried to pick people. I tried to pick people that had quite large film histories, so you would struggle to find the link in there. I think my downfall was putting Rob Schneider in. I think, but well, whatever. I think everybody who ever puts Rob Schneider in a movie thinks that same thing. Okay, so doing nothing. Okay, so I reckon it's the bloody sprites after all. Yeah, it has to be the sprites, right? Because that's the only thing that's causing a problem, I think. That's where I'm getting stuck, right? So let's turn this back on. Let's put this back to 24, and let's make the sprite side null. Yeah, it's really, yeah. I made an error in my code. So while it is supposed to be 70%, there is a piece of code somewhere that still thinks it's 75%. It's fixed now, but it won't be until the next stream that you actually see the code update. Another reason I can't wait to get my new overlay, because I'll be able to fix things live instead of having to wait. Yeah, okay. Okay, so changing the sprite value causes an issue. So we know that it's causing an issue because it's getting stuck in the routine for, where is it? The draw sprites up to the next, yeah, up to next rest. So it's doing this, and then it's trying to do a jump, but then it's coming back to this again, which would imply that it's never actually getting properly to the end. Oh, no, that's frame. Okay, so where's the raster? Oh, we're not doing a check here, actually, for the next sprite split. We're just jumping straight into the next one. Uh, Beta frame. So if I set the frame to 0, according to this, if I set the frame to 0, it should jump completely out of this. So let's try that in the clear. Okay, which is kind of backwards. Oh no, the frames are set to 0. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So what am I missing here? I'm missing something important. I've done so many tweaks around this. It's becoming a bit kind of crazy now. Yeah, I think if I would have just kind of done some other series, I probably would have gone for Jason Bateman. But um, I really wanted to try and kind of throw you off the trail. So, but it hasn't worked. I mean, you got it after like 3 or 4, which was bloody annoying. I need one more like Acmafins. Acmafins is good. Okay, so so we compare the next raster to the last possible raster, and then we exit. Okay, so last possible raster is a value up here somewhere, which just defines if any raster is beyond this point, then don't draw it. Just exit straight away. And I think that's what it should be doing. But the problem is it doesn't seem to ever get to that point. It seems to fail. Now, what's happening is we're going into that screen, we're setting a lower number of sprites than the maximum, which means at that point we've now got a list of rasters for the previous screen, which are going to be mostly empty because the previous screen had no sprites in it, and we're moving into a screen with rasters, with new raster positions in. But the last ones should be blank, but they're not for some reason. Why are they not blank? Am I missing something in here? Is it in my sort routine? Let's have a look. Okay. If this is... So if the value of I... So if the current sprite that we're on... no. No, this should be I plus 1. And the reason it needs to be I plus 1 is because this is an unrolled loop, right? So what we're checking is not whether the current sprite is the level, because we've just dealt with that one, but we need to check if the next one is, which means this would have done one extra sprite. So I think that might work. Yeah, I can see where I was trying to do this before, and I'm going to get rid of that. I was obviously trying to replace this for loop with an actual index loop instead. Is V max 0 based? Yes. But that's why I'm doing this here. So basically, if I want to draw just 2 sprites, then my value would go from my max is 2. Yeah, so 0 and 1. So yeah, it's this plus 1. Yeah, it's this. It is going to be this. I also like it when people accidentally get a background that's already been you were getting at what I was getting, but with lag. Yeah, I think it's just because I was checking the I value at the wrong index. I was checking it on the previous value rather than the next value. Boom. Oh, hang on. I'm not actually changing it. Damn it. Damn it. All right. I was getting excited then, and I don't think I should be. Do you like watching you? So yeah, if I can slow you guys down, then all the better. So, hey, Anton. Reeves with the word red in them. Interesting. So one of the cool things about doing this with the variable particles and stuff is that if I do actually decide to do this for the Mega 65, which is very likely, if I can find the time, probably once this is released, I might do it rather than at the same time. Just changing the maximum values should fix higher particle numbers. Why is this doing this now? Oh wait, that's a different place. That's a different place, I think. Oh, this is in the swap. Hang on. So hang on. I think I just got lucky there. I think. No, I'm actually stuck in the swap now. Okay. So now it's getting stuck in this bit here. Um. Let's get rid of that one. Because if I go and then just pause it. Yeah, I'm constantly in this spot here, and that is for FAD, whatever it was. It's in the swap loop, so it's this bit here is where it's getting stuck at. But I don't know why it's getting stuck here now. That's weird. So annoyed that you got my series. I was really proud of that one. I should not have confidence in any of my series whatsoever. Okay, so the +2 is because the sprite indexes, the first two sprites don't get multiplexed. That's why there's a +2 here. This is because the sprite sorting only happens for the first for the sprites from index 2 onwards. The +1 down here is to do with this loop, which also starts at 2. So you can see that actually starts at 2 here. All this is actually doing is checking that the total number of sprites that get rendered is that it stops at that point. I'm really bothered about why this is crazy. It's crashing because of the sprite multiplexer, that's for sure. It seems to be getting stuck at various places though. Like the place it's getting stuck at now is hang on, that's because so let's go. It keeps getting stuck at that spot. Let me go back in and load it up again. Maybe there's something odd about the what's a condition that keeps the execution in it? I'm not quite sure at the moment. I think it's to do with the raster positions, but it doesn't help that I'm not seeing. Actually, I might put this in the debugger in a minute. That might be the easier way to figure this out. Seems to be when I come in here for long enough and destroy things or whatever, and then it gets stuck, right? And then if I go and have, see, it's a different position now. Oh no, this is, wait, is it just reordered things in a different way? Okay, so it's jump table set next split, set next split. So that is here basically. Draw sprites up, isn't it? Yeah, it is getting stuck at this point. So, how's about I try something quickly here, and when I do this setting here, I immediately call sort, because one of the things that might be happening is we do a sort, then we set the values, and then we do a render. So it could be some kind of craziness in the middle that's kind of screwing things up here. It could be that we need to wait a frame. I'm going to just try a sort here because it's only on loading a screen. If this doesn't fix it, then I'm going to move to the next situation, which is making sure that when these values change, that it waits for an entire frame to finish first before it starts again. So like this will set a flag in here. That flag will then mean that if it comes into this loop, any of these kind of draw loops here, it just immediately jumps to this exit, and this exit turns the flag off. Then that way the kind of sprite raster state is reset, if you like. That's my thinking behind it. Anyway, let's see what happens if I try the sort first. God damn it. Reject your reality and substitute my. Oh, what's that from? I recognize that. I can't remember what that's from. I definitely recognize that. Oh yes, I knew I'd heard it somewhere. Okay, well that obviously causes issues, but it's interesting because that kind of moves us along the right path, and I think this might be what's causing the crashes overall. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a little byte up here. Um, I'm going to call it hold plexer flag, and it's going to start at 0. And basically, if this flag is set, and it's always going to be initialized to 0 as well. So let's if this flag is set, then it's going to do none of the routines. The very first thing it's going to do is it's going to exit these routines, which means if it clears the sprites like this here, no, not when it clears the sprites, when this happens actually. So, okay. And that means if I jump into set next sprite, so this is one place we were getting stuck. Draw sprites up to next raster. So I'm going to take, and if that's equal to 0, we're just going to jump straight ahead. Okay. However, if it's not taken, then we're going to jump to is that the right thing to be doing here? Jump to jump table, sprites draw. To find the exit. Okay, this is JSR. This. So in this case here, we just return. Yeah. Because this is so this whatever this is being called from an RTS, being called from a JSR somewhere, not a raster interrupt, because it jumps into this routine here, and this routine just exits with an RTS. So we have to also exit with an RTS. So that's fine here. Let's copy that block and let's go and have a look. So this is setting the next sprite split. So we don't want to set a split at all if we need to exit. And this time it is a jump to exit. So that would be where the hell that is here. No, there's probably one other place that this needs to happen. I think this is what's causing us the issues, but I don't think we can get around it because of the order. When the screen happens, loads of things may happen in a weird order because of the IRQs. I managed to amaze my friends doing by doing a sitting 15 million resource shift random algorithm on a 602. A random line algorithm going on and made 652 by that drew lines from top to bottom. It's supposed to be what if the axes were random? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, yeah, and that's what I use. I use as law shift as well for most things. There's a couple of cases where I might inject some SID noise or CIA timer noise into it, but yeah, generally it's that. So I couldn't even tell you who the last one is. So I'm gonna have a quick look because I'm trying to remember myself who the last one might be. I think you've not got. Oh, I'm going to search for it without typing it. So okay, I did spell it right. So I think you've already mentioned this name, but somebody else must have got a background in before it was accepted. So I think it's this one anyway. I think you've got all the other ones. Uh, looking at it, Yeah, I think I've got all the other ones. Yeah, it's that one. That's the only one. All right. But I've definitely seen you type this name, so okay. So, given that we need to hold all the plex in, do we need to do it here? Sprite hierarchy direct. Okay, so this draws the sprite up to next raster. No, so this is what I mean about the RTS. See, then it would jump to here, and then at this point, all we need to do is. So then on the next frame, it should be fine. So let's give that a try. Okay, this is kind of quite an ambitious way of doing things, but I think it's probably the right way. As my programs are still quite small, I also use the zero page for global variables, even temp ones to learn better in the future. Now it's nice something you can use zero page. Yes, it's definitely a good practice to use. You kind of get used to it after a while of when to use it and when not to. This program is Cecconoid's a little bit weird in that it uses large chunks of zero page to do weird things like the particle system. Oh shit! I should not try not to die on the mines. Oh fudge! Okay, it's something slightly different here though. Now it's getting stuck in Sprite IRQ instead. Ah, wait a minute. No, okay. Okay. So let's take a look. Is that value set for E? So it's on 0, so that would imply that it's safe to do so at this point. Let's try setting this in the map loader stuff in here. Actually, let's do it in the clear sprites. It's probably the safest place to do it. So this is going to force every screen to hold the plexer. Does it also crash when the particles are gone? It doesn't seem to be anything to do with the particles, because I mean I'll try, but yeah, it's a good point. Definitely should try. I'm certain it's to do with the multiplexer because every time it gets stuck, it's in the multiplexer. So fairly certain it's that. I am going to play a little bit of Resident Evil at 12:30 as well, just to see if I can kill that fucking spider. To be honest, the spider snake, because it's pissing me off. So I'll just spend a little bit of time. Oh, I missed the follow as well. XDX8 Zytex, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so let's try a couple of crash scenarios. So first of all, let's just go straight back. Okay, that's fine. Okay, it does seem to be when the particles are triggered though. So let's trigger the particles, wait for them to disappear. Okay, they're dead. No. So why would triggering the particles cause the multiplexer to screw up? It's a weird one. It's a really weird one. You're helping me enjoy my weakest part of computing. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Hey, Warlock. I didn't see you coming either. When you reduce the number of virus particles, you're still clearing the old number of them and then overwrite. Well, this is the thing. If I turn off the particle count completely, so it's always the same. Like what? Right. So no crash here. Okay. Let's go back in here. So if I set the performance, so this is the particle count. If I set it to null, now that particle count is going to be the same. So now the particle count is not going to change on any of the screens. It's always the same particle count, which is why we get these jittery particles here. Although we've reduced the sprite count as well, so yeah, much smoother particles on this screen. Wait for them to die. It still crashes. So it's not to do with the particle count change, but seems to be something to do with if particles appear at all. However, if I turn off the particle, the sprite adjustment, so basically turn the performance adjustment off completely, then I don't have the same issue at all. Took computer science, they got a big fat yeah. That's because you didn't give a shit about your schoolwork, though, Sean, to be fair. School just wasn't for you, I don't think. I think not an issue. Not an issue. Does it search for a place to store the part? So the particles are dynamic. So what happens is the and you can see it's definitely something related to the sprites, because same system, no crash. But the moment I change the number of sprites, then it causes a crash. Does it search for a place to store the particles of the ship? It's the particles are stored in character memory, and that's not going to change to do with the sprite adjustments. So I'm just gonna need to have a think about why would this be different? What would change? Have I accidentally put a value in here for like max sprites or something? Let's search here for sprites. No, okay. Or sprite. No, all right. Have I done the same in here with particles? Maybe particle. No, okay. I feel like this is correct. This is escaping early. Let's try escaping even earlier. Let's escape, like, let's go 3 ahead. I just want to see if that changes the outcome here. Actually, I need to actually turn back on my. So just changing the sprite count changes things. So is it related to the fact that the laser screen scrolls up when you first enter, and how the laser then works with the raster position when it's at the bottom of the screen? This is a good point, actually. Could it be to do with the laser itself? See, I wouldn't have thought so, because the laser works absolutely fine. It's only when I change the number of sprites. I'll try that, though, in a minute, though. It's a good question. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do in a second, Nicomo. Exactly that. Okay, so yeah, so this is happening now because I'm exiting this loop earlier, which is fine. This is just for testing, so that's why we're seeing the missing bits there. So I'm going to set these off. Oh, okay, we got a completely different crash there, which just goes to show it is definitely something to do with these sprites. Let's just disable the laser and see what happens. So in that screen, we should have a laser update and a laser initialize. So there's our laser update and laser initialize. There we go. So this should prevent any laser from appearing on that screen. Take care, Sean. Yeah, nobody, when Sean does do his C64 stream, no one tell him how it works. He's got to figure it out himself. It looks like the stack is corrupted. Yeah, it does look like the stack is corrupted, but we've also got a jump table as well, so it could be to do with the jump table. But trying to figure out why that's the case is the tricky thing. Okay, interesting. So with the laser turned off, it doesn't cause a problem. Now, that could just be because we're not using multiplex sprites here, right? So that could be, let's try that theory out, right? So for instance, this screen definitely has multiplex sprites. And it also has things that explode down here. So let's go and set them off. Not an issue. Not an issue. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, before I continue with this, let me just undo, put that back, and let me just keep the laser off, but I'm going to just copy this and I'm going to stick this into screen 12. So we're going to change the performance of the screen with the swarm in it. I don't know why I've got another screen there. That's weird. Okay. Actually, I'm not sure that was the right one. Let me just restart it now. At least the last day. Yes, I think, I mean, that's a definite problem, and that's something that I think is going to be kind of something I have to look at with the stack. I think it's probably more to do with the jump addresses rather than the stack itself. But I might be wrong. There might be something else that's going on in there. I shall take a look. Right. Okay. So we've got a limitation in here, so you can see the sprite border there, and then the sprite border there. So the limitation, no limitation, limitation. Right. So we're using a different system. We're not using lasers, but we are using sprite multiplexer, and it's fine, which makes me think it's something to do with the laser code itself. Okay. Well, that's good, because that means it's probably a bit easier to fix than playing around with the multiplexers. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. And let's go and take a look at the laser. So let's turn the laser back on again. So let's initialize it, but not update it. See what happens. So I think what we're going to see here is nothing. Yeah. And then down here. Okay. Okay, interesting. So next thing to do is to turn that back on then. So let's close that multiplexer screen there. Let's turn the laser update on. Okay, so laser update. So what is happening in the laser update? Well, we're only doing an update every other frame, which is fine. We clear a line, we draw a line, and we draw collision. Okay, well, collision. Draw collision. What the hell? Oh, that's the particles on the end. Okay, well, let's turn off drawing the line, and let's turn off clearing the line. So these are sprite things here. So let's get rid of those. Oh, press the right button, maybe. Okay, so we can see that the laser isn't updating. All the particles are over here, which means the laser's firing this way. We just can't see it because it's not updating, which means it's not being drawn either. But the actual kind of the collision code is running, which has particles in it, which is why I'm checking it. Boom. Right. Okay. So we're going to crash if we draw the collision. So let's try just drawing the line now. It could be as simple as that. It could just be as simple as what is I in that loop? Which loop? Which loop are we on about? In which? I'm not sure which loop you're on about. You mean in the multiplexer? This one? Yeah. Okay. So this is the sprite index. This is an unrolled loop. which basically deals with the generation of is it the generation of the rasters, or is it the so this generates all the raster indexes for each of the sprite multiplexer indexes. So this basically goes through all the sprites that can be multiplexed, so all 20 of them or whatever it is, minus the first two, and deals with those. And I is just the current index that it's using. So it's not that. I think what it is, it's to do with, it is related to the particles, but it seems to be. Oh, I don't like that weird set of numbers there. What's that about? Oh, that's a screen. Let me write what that is. So it's a screen location, yeah. So from Kick, it's a constant. Yeah, it's a loop constant from Kick. So I think it's to do with this collision. Once we can replicate it, then we can start narrowing down the issue. And actually, this whole thing would answer a lot of questions about why I've been getting certain crashes. So okay, so we've got no collision now, which means this laser is just going through everything like that. But the important thing is it's not drawing any particles on the end. So let these particles appear. Oh, okay. So I do get a crash here. It's a different crash, but it is a crash. Interesting. Okay, so that is an interesting one. Let's turn off. I think it can't be draw lines, surely. Because I was getting the crash. I think there's more than one thing going on here. Typo in location. Thank you. It's a comment, though. No points for that. Oh, yeah. Blackadder needs a few quotes put in, doesn't it? Okay, so now it's just not clearing the sprites. It's drawing, but it's not clearing. Which just looks weird, actually. But I think we're probably still going to see the crash here. Yeah. It's crashing with a CPU jam every time. Though this is different, at least. And that's probably because of these jump tables, right? So there is these jump tables here, but these should always be pointing. Oh, wait. It's at this value. Ah, maybe if I put a check in here. So that this, because what's happening here is these values are being exceeded, I think. So I think if this value is more than a jump table, we've got 6 values in there. So if this value is 6 or more, if it's less than that, we go ahead. Otherwise, we return. Let's just try that. See if that, because that might fix. Because that's actually, we're not catching any of the errors there. Okay, so we're going to get the same weird shit with this. Okay. Go in here, trigger these. No, okay. So it's still crashing there. Let's check the step pointer. Step pointer F4. So on F4. So it's the wrong one. 31B5. I always do that. Yeah, sprite splits again. Okay. B5 is this one up here. So B1, B0. Oh, damn. 31B0. Wait. Ooh. What? What? That's not right. That is not right. That's going to be in. God damn it! I hate bug fixing. Is so annoying. So annoying. I mean, it's a necessary evil, but it's very annoying. So that's here, I think. Oh, maybe I'm just okay. 31B3. Come on, done. Decimal 31B3. Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. Jump to the sort routine. Okay, again, it's the sort routine. What is it about this fucking routine? Should be checking Y, not compare Y. No, because this is the value that's looking into this jump table here. So you can see we're setting up this jump table value here, but I don't. This is not it anyway. This is I was hoping it might be. I'm going to leave this in because it's a good kind of catch. It will stop this ever causing as an issue, so this will never kind of jump into a weird place. These are hard coded. These never get changed. This is just pointing into this loop here. The problem is this sort, again, it is to do with this for some reason. It's getting stuck in here. Keep looking up and looking at the chat and realizing it's all just massive red dwarf code. So, so what is going on? Right. Do I need to reset the indices maybe as well? Let's try that. So in the init function, in here, we set these values in this table here. So I'm actually going to create this. I'm going to call it reset flexor indices. Because it's definitely to do with adjusting that value. So I'm just wondering if when those values are adjusted, it kind of breaks the sorting. So if I just reset everything, let's not do it there. Let's do it in the clear. Wait, hang on. What gets called first? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's setting it in both places. Let's do it here. Let's do it whenever we set that value. So that makes more sense. Let's get rid of it in from this. No, let's get rid of it in this one here. Oh. Well, 10 more minutes and then I'm going to stop. I don't think this is going to get solved tonight. I might have a look at this tomorrow, though. I'll see. I've spent all night doing bug fixing. Be good to get onto some actual gameplay next time. Still jamming. What I don't get is why it's jamming at that position, right? So this is... Whoa, it's filled the memory. What? Wait. Hey, this means it's going... Okay, so there is something in this area, which is this block here, right? It's changing something that it thinks is in there, but it's actually overriding all this shit. Which is now only happening because I've done this. So let's take a look at what this is doing. Take the maximum sprites sorted indexes. You cannot search for every answer on Stack Overflow. Yeah, that's true. This is the sort of thing that is not, and this is, I think this is why another reason I like assembly language as well, because you have to really figure things out. There's very few things you can just go and look up. This is a problem of my own doing, and something that probably no one else has done. So, because assembly lets you create some quite unique situations for yourself. So, interesting how it suddenly is kind of breaking in that way as well. Let me let's turn that one off there. There's going to be it's going to be some tiny little thing in there that's causing the problem to arise, and it's just going to take lots of looking at it before I figure it out. So, fortunately, I'm getting kind of to the end of my patience with it tonight. So, oh, see, it did something different, but it's still screwed up. And if we kind of have a look at the monitor, yeah, so it... Wait a minute, let me try something. Should have been doing this a lot earlier, to be honest. Okay, so I'm going to load the game up, and then we're going to go and have a look at that area of memory. There we go. Okay, so the area of memory that we're interested in is 4FA6. which is here. So this is where our sort routine is, and this is where some stuff is. But it seems like one of these values at some points gets, well, this whole section gets changed. Let's go and have a look where that's happening. Let's just keep it playing. 4FAB. So we're going to put let's get rid of that one. So 4FAB. Anytime that value is set to anything, we're going to have a break. So we've got no break here. But if I move into this screen, still no break. Okay. And we can see it's trying to draw something into those routines now. You can see lots and lots of what looks like 0 1s being written in here incorrectly. So let's go and have a look where that is. That's at 5AD8. What is this? Okay, so this is, which I don't know. Oh, draw line. Ah, it is the fucking laser. It's the draw line routine in the laser. That's what's breaking. Okay. It's breaking because it's going to be this here. This base index is going to be wrong, which means these are going to be wrong, which means the values are going to be all over the place, which also means the loop is going to take longer. Okay, so in that case, let's put the clear line back in. Let's put the collision back in. I think I know what the problem is now. So let's see if we can figure out where that base index. So this is where base index is set. So whenever the laser is initially, scroll up to 10 minutes ago. What? No, I'm not going to scroll to 10 minutes ago. Is it making the line too long and overwrite code? Yeah, I think, yeah, it seems to be. Well, it's not that it's making the line too long, it's that the base index is being set incorrectly, I think. We'll find out. So we're going to get one break when we come into the screen for the first time. We should be able to advance past that because it's just an init. But we can check the X register here. So it's saying the base index is 11, which sounds about right, I think. Oh, base index plus 1. Okay, that's fine. Where is that stored, actually? Let's just disassemble 5800. So 57BC and 57BB, I'd imagine then. 57BB. So our values are 0, 5, and 0B. Okay. So now let's go down into this screen and come back up into here, and we get a, well, no, we get a stop here. 050B. Okay, so, but I didn't trigger the particles here. I'm not sure why it's related to those particles, but there we go. And their numbers are different. Okay. So the add sprite, what does that do? I think that's going to grab the next sprite value. Set sprite frame, load X with the lower value of X. Add sprite pos and color. So X is this value here that comes out the other side. Get next free sprite. It's going to be that, isn't it? Load X with the next free sprite for aha. Transfer accumulator to X. Is it going to be that simple? Is it just because when we loop round, we're not storing it back to here again? Could be, literally could be that simple. Let's just go and What was the? Where did I put that breakpoint? Oh, in laser, didn't I? Okay. Actually, let's leave it there because it's a good check. Because the numbers should be the same all the times. Every time I go into that screen, those numbers should be the same. Does that free sprite get zeroed when you change screens? Not sure, but there's definitely a number that's wrong somewhere. So I don't know if it's going to be the same numbers. Let's try again. No, it doesn't like it is. All right, so it's decimal 5, 8, 20, 5, 7. Oh, it was 5, 7 BB. 0504. Okay, this is probably going to crash then. Yeah. All right. It's definitely to do with this routine. I'm going to spend another 10 minutes on it. I think I feel like we're close to solving it. So if it's zero, no, I think what's happening is it's you can see here the value should be 050B, but this second one's been set to 04. Now that probably is the first free sprite here, and we can probably fix it by upping the number of sprites on the screen, but I don't think that's necessary. I think 12 is the correct number. We just need to figure out why it's resetting at this point. Resetting too early, maybe. So the very last one, right? If the first one is 5, let's see what's happening. So it comes in. Let's move laser over here. So this is the first one. So this is sprite 5, and it stores that. Then it becomes 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it becomes sprite 11 at this point. So it's because it goes in here, it gets the next free sprite, which is 11. Wait, why is it adding one here? Wait. This is back to front. This is why. The next free sprite. Oh, and then stores that in there. Oh, okay, so that's not right. Okay. Oh, okay. So I think what's happening is with our laser is our laser is drawing from the base index to the higher base index. So it's working out the root. But if at any point that wraps back around again, because of the multiplexers decided that the next free sprite is actually the first one again, that now breaks because now that loop can't work properly. So we need to figure out why coming from the bottom screen and going up changes the next free sprite to be a different value. This value is incorrect the first time. That transfer accumulated to X was wrong there. Because all we're doing is we're just grabbing the next free sprite, putting it in X. This is just making sure that the very next time you call this, it gets the right value. The problem is the first time we come in, that value is wrong. So this here, load accumulate first free sprite, should probably be in the clear, which it is. It's in the clear sprites. Okay, let's try putting that also in here. Can't see that having any difference, but let's just try it anyway. Shouldn't the current sprite point to be set to screen digestion because there are less sprites on the laser screen? Yeah, that's where it is doing it. That's what the clear sprites is about. Oh yeah, the explosion. Skunk Monkey, you might be onto something there. I think you are spot on with that. It's the explosion sprite. You're right. That's the exact reason. Yeah, it is to do with the sprite pointer. And the reason, it's nothing to do with the particles. It's these explosions. So when I go up, so actually this might fix it. Yeah. Yeah, so that actually fixes it by setting this in here. That fixes it. I'm going to give you both some points there. I'm going to give Andy 5, and I'm going to be slightly mean to Andy and give Skunk 10. But the reason I'm giving Skunk 10 is because he's pinpointed the exact reason why. Andy was on the right path, and Skunk Monkey got the very exact reason why. And plus, Andy needs to be caught anyway, so it's always good to give more points to other people. But yeah, well done, guys. Really, really good debugging and helping me out there. Very much appreciate it. So let's try that without the breakpoints in, and then we can play a little bit. We can celebrate with. Well, Andy was definitely on the right path there as well. But Skunk Monkey nailed exactly what it was that was causing the issue. So it was kind of, I was currently right. Yeah, I completely forgot about that as well. It helped with Red Dwarf quotes. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more fun when there are AMK alerts as well. I need to figure out what image to use for the AMK alerts. I'm thinking the nice doggo picture might be a good one. Right, let's try this out now. I think this is it. I think this is definitely solved now. Boom. And I think that's actually going to solve some issues I was having with other crashes as well. And actually, what we've managed to do is create something that's a bit neater as well, and a bit in terms of kind of checking bounds of errors and things. So let's just put it back to this, and then we'll. Oh, God damn it! I'm so happy, Jasmine. Yeah, I really like the original. Unfortunately, I've not got the original one, but the one that you had, I might use that as the AMK alert. Um, the thing is, the images for the new alerts, they're not going to be super clear. They're built up of particles, so they come together from particles that zoom in from the left hand side of the screen, and they kind of hover around, but they form a rough image. So I think I posted a picture of it in. Let me show you. It's kind of an old picture of it, but it gives you an idea of roughly what it kind of looks like. Yeah, here we go. Can I open that in? Nope. Can I do it at all? There we go. Download. So watch here the particles. It's different slightly now, but you can see the turbo outrun. So it still looks like turbo outrun, but it's built of particles. So they won't be super clear. So they have to be. That's why I've changed a couple of the. Well, I've changed one of the alerts to deal with that. But anyway, let's just quickly test this. Yeah, there we go. Look at the particles are much better now at the top of the screen. They smooth out way earlier as well. I can go down here. Yeah, not a problem. Awesome. I'm so glad that that's been worked out. All right, let's call it a night for Cecconoid, and let's give Resident Evil half an hour or so. Not going to spend ages on this. I just wanted to kill this bloody snake. So let me change my stream title and stuff. Oh man, I'm so happy that's solved now. It was really beginning to bug me that. So let's go Resident Evil 1 PSX. Let's change that to Resident Evil. There we go. So I'm going to switch the overlay over, so apologies for the music that's going to stop. see that one. There we go.